I believe we are in a state of crisis. There could be no architects in 50 years. I predict perhaps in China time, we won't have architects in 25 years. Why? If we don't deal as architects with the interventions of 4 designers, we will be obsolete. The first intervention comes from program designers. I quote Sanford Quinter when he said, "The material of the world is now generated largely through administrative apparatus." In short, organization. Some architects have shifted their role from building as tradition, conceived. Instead, they decide to deal with social relationship. 2, wealth designers. Faster, bigger, cheaper, building camouflage with witty names like lifestyle, branding, will eventually destroy the notion of design. Third intervention, the knowledge designers. We have to admit that architects nowadays don't really explore materialities. We don't even talk about tectonics. We don't talk about details. We don't talk about context. Instead, we're more interested in intellectual properties, ideas. Last intervention is the computer designers. Rhino, 3D Max, SketchUp, awful drawings.
What you say for me is kind of like sometimes contradicting, even ironical. And seems like you have some notion of what an architect should be like. Have you ever been chairing an architecture association or school or something?
I've never chaired an architectural, I've taught in universities, but never chaired an architectural association.
What do you think in the education of architecture is missing then? Why are architects behaving badly, according to you?
I'm not saying architects are behaving badly. I'm just saying that we have to understand the reality of what the other designers are coming to play. The program designers, the computer designers, the knowledge designers. All these designers will eventually take over. During the Renaissance, for instance, architects have a whole gamut of roles that they play. But eventually it gets whittled down. I was in Zhengzhou for a project wherein there are 25 consultants, from flower designers to acoustical designers to you name what, signage designers. There's 3 different signage designers, to a point where in your hands are completely tied. So if you don't engage with them and understand the roles in which designers...
So basically it's the communication.
No, I believe that we need to have a multidisciplinary approach to architecture rather than architecture with a big A.
Right. Yep. Okay, just like your practice. How do you run a multidisciplinary practice like yours then?
Very confused.
Is that part of the charm and the dynamic?
I'm not so sure if it's the charm, but I think by forcing ourselves to design a teacup one day to a high-rise the next day, you force yourself to understand issues and confront issue in a different scale and tectonic.